I'm going to do a quick update on that mining rig we've been working on. This is part 4 in the series of the 13 GPU 4GB mining rig. Finally got everything up, running, and relatively stable. It's ran for an hour now. I just had to adjust some of the clocks. One thing that I will have to do is tune the cards. GPU 8's been giving me a lot of headaches, so I've dropped the memory clock down to 1860 from 2000. And yeah, I'll show you the setup that it's complete. All the temperatures are relatively good. These here are the MSI Armor models. Sorry, it's a little bit out of focus. But yeah, we have our MSI Armor models here sitting at around 55 degrees Celsius. There's one down here as well. MSI Gaming X, really great cooling. 43 degrees, 47, 46, low 50s. We even have the Gigabyte model here. I did switch out one of the MSI cards for a Gigabyte as the MSI card was running in the high 60s no matter what I did. It just seems like a bad piece of silicon. Of course it mines fine, but I just switched it out for now. So what I'll do is I'll show you the build setup now with the fans. Alright, this here is the completed build in its temporary-ish location. I'm going to run it here until it gets colder outside and I can give it better airflow. But what I did is I added 2 box fans. I just bought them today just because those 120mm fans do not move enough air. These are Polaris GPUs. They're not the most efficient, so they do run pretty hot. And currently the temperature, I believe right by the GPU, it's a little warmer, but the temperature would be around 88 degrees. Currently this is reading at about 93 to 94 degrees. That's a little bit out of focus, but anyways, the ambient temperature is pretty hot, so I do recommend, if you are building a mining rig, follow those principles I talked about in the first video of the series. Space your GPUs out properly. Obviously, you want to have good power. We got that 1600 watt with all PCIe strands connected to the GPUs. Then we got the HP 1200 watt in the background here. This time I connected it to 240 volt, so I had a little bit of room on one circuit. I added it there, so that's doing about 700 watts for the 6 GPUs, so it's running very efficient. The one thing though, however, I don't like about the HP 1200 watt, the one that I have, is the low voltage and the high temperature that the power supply runs at. One thing I noticed with these HP models, I have probably about 6, 7, or 8 of them now, is that they do run very, very hot. The fan barely ramps up, and that is a big issue. Like, I mean, it's not, like, it's running in spec, of course, but I would prefer kind of like those Dell 1400 watt PSUs I use. Those ones ramp up. When you put 700, 800 watts of load on it, they're going to start moving a lot more air through it to keep the temperature down. It almost feels like the Dell power supplies are rated at 40 degrees set temperature, and these are aiming for like 50 to 60 degrees. So that's the only thing I don't like about the HP ones. However, HP, the breakout boards are super, super easy to find. And yeah, that's basically the build here. I'm going to show you, give you a bit more angles to look at. Nothing too fancy, but I'm actually very happy with how it turned out. And I am using some old hard drives to lift up the power supply so that the aluminum bar is not in the place of where I have it plugged in. Last thing, power consumption. This here is the power meter hooked up to the 1600 watt PSU, which, as I mentioned, has 7 of the 13 cards on it, so 7 RX 570s on it. And yeah, we're only pulling around 820 to 830 watts. This is 120 volts here. I can show you we are running at 118 volts, so there's a little bit of voltage drop. I am running on an extension cord, but it is still safe because this is, I believe, a 14 gauge extension cord, and we're only pulling around 7 amps, so we're well in spec, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, again, those 7 GPUs with my overclock settings that I showed in the beginning of the video, 800 millivolts across the board. We're only using about 820 to 825 watts, which is really efficient. You can do the math. 800 divided by 7, you're probably looking at around 118 watts per GPU. And it looks like we might be mining Zilliqa or a GPU died. Let me quickly check. I quickly checked. We are just reloading the DAG to mine Zilliqa's. Because I am mining Ethereum Classic, I do choose to dual mine Zilliqa. So I mine to the eZill pool, so that's why our power consumption dropped there. Anyway, that's going to wrap up my video, and this is going to be the end of our 4-part series of this mining rig build. Pretty crazy what we got done in terms of like the last 48 hours. 48 hours ago, we didn't have the rig. Then 24 hours ago, I had all the cards. I was in the middle of repasting, and now it's the evening of the second day. and everything is all functional, ready to go. I got 2 extra box fans. They were about, I think, like $35 a piece with taxes. And yeah, that's just my setup. If you guys have any questions, this was a little bit longer of a video, you can let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this 4-part series. It's not edited, but I did bring you behind the scenes, give you a little bit of my thought process, how I want to power the GPUs, how I'm going to space them, and now you get a good idea of what does it actually look like when I set up my rigs, because I've done a lot of videos on the channel showing what settings to run on the cards, but not how to set them up so that once you put the settings on them, they run successfully. And what I mean, for example, is spacing, temperatures. Now you see I space the cards out well, and I have the box fan set up. What I'm going to do probably off camera sometime later is unscrew all those 120mm fans. Then there's going to be room for a lot more air to come through. Anyways, let's get on the video. Thanks so much for your attention. Remember to leave a like on the video, and if you like this kind of content, subscribe. We're well on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and it'd be awesome for you to be a part of that. Anyways, take care and good luck mining. Cheers.